technically, it is the start of a new week for the Prime Minister, but it looks like the next few days are going to be as difficult, if not more so, for Number 10.
Yeah, the report into Partygate by Sue Gray should be released this week, and it's likely to add more pressure on Boris Johnson.
Well, meanwhile, there's now the emerging MP intimidation scandal, and one Tory member, Martin Vickers, is now claiming that some sort of prosecution should be considered. Well, the Metropolitan Police says it's waiting for the publication of the Sue Gray report before taking any further action.
Well, joining us now is Norman Baker, former Lib Dem Home Office Minister in the coalition government of 2010 to 2015. Do you remember it? A very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hello, lovely to see you. What are you making of this at the moment? Where do you think it's going to go?
I think it's extraordinary. I mean, irrespective of anything else, this story has just snowballed. I think we're up to 15 different parties now, and no doubt more to come. Sue Gray must be rewriting her report every couple of days as more information comes forward. It never seems to end. And we've now got the situation where Tory MPs are alleging matters are ones which need to be referred to the Metropolitan Police. You haven't mentioned, but Nus Ghani, the MP for next door Wealdon, where I am in East Sussex, is now alleging that she was discriminated against because of her Muslim background. So these allegations are in open against their own government are just quite extraordinary.
Pointing out that the chief whip, who these allegations by Nusrat Ghani she's making against, he denies those vehemently and says that they could be defamatory. So we've got to bear that in mind. However, the fact that Tories are now sort of piling on the pressure, I mean, is this a real sense, you think, that the backbenchers really want him to go?
Well, clearly a large section of the Conservative Party in Parliament does want him to go, and it's been very open about that. And, you know, there's been rumbles in parties before, my party and the Labour Party in the Conservative Party, but I can't ever recall a time when it was as open as this and as forceful as this. And, you know, the Prime Minister is basically a dead man walking, as far as I can see, and he's waiting for something to happen. But even if Sue Gray Porter's is not as damning as people think it will be, and even if somehow he scrapes past this, I mean, he can't carry on, I don't think, in this way. He's now been very hull below the waterline, and if you look at the opinion polls, I mean, he's now got a poll rating worse than Jeremy Corbyn.
So do you think it's really not a question of if, it's more when he'll go, even if, as you say, the report isn't as damning as they're predicting?
I think he's going to have to go. I mean, all these allegations are there. And if you think about it from a Tory MP's point of view, all these allegations, all the things that have been said, all the Partygate information that's come out, can all be played back in opposition leaflets and opposition broadcasts all the way through to the next general election. And do the Tories really want to go to the next general election with all this being replayed indefinitely? I don't think so. I think the Tory MPs, from my perspective, seem to have lost confidence in Boris Johnson, even the ones who are favourable to him, and they want a new start, I imagine, and probably from their point of view, the sooner the better.
There may be a lot of people watching, though, who are Tory voters who are going to say, Norman, and let's be frank, you know, they're not going to take any advice from a Lib Dem, because you've changed your leaders more often than a library book at times.
Well, look, I mean, I'm not particularly here as I am a Lib Dem, but I'm not here in that capacity today. I'm here almost as an objective observer of events, and I'm just telling you how I see it. And yes, we've changed our leaders, and so has the Labour Party over the years, but I don't ever recall the animosity, the unpleasantness, the open revolt which we're now seeing in the Tory Party anywhere else. Even when you're Jeremy Corbyn as Labour leader, you didn't see this level of hostility. It's just quite extraordinary.
And it's very unedifying, isn't it? I wonder what it's doing to public confidence in ministers,
yes,
in MPs at all. It seems as though nearly everything, and you're calling for an inquiry because it looks like very, very dodgy behaviour. How are we meant to have any faith in our leaders, in our MPs after this? Well,
it's doing a lot of damage to the government, there's no doubt about that. No doubt it's doing damage to the image of Westminster generally and to the image of MPs, and it's very unfortunate because there are many MPs in all parties, including the Conservative Party, who are there just getting their head down and doing the best they can for their constituents, and they're all tarred with the same brush. But I'm also concerned that what this is doing to our reputation abroad. It's already been badly affected, in my view, by the introduction of Brexit. We've now got a situation where we look like a laughing stock across some of the world. The headlines in the American press about what's happening here, so-called Partygate, are very damaging to our image abroad. And this is a tough time for our diplomats, I imagine, in the Foreign Office.
OK, Norman Baker, really good to talk to you this morning. Thank you. It raises a valid point about what people make of us abroad, but whether that matters in the short term.
I don't know. I mean, last weekend, didn't we? We interviewed somebody from America who said, because they'd been listening to our programme before they came on air, and she said it's actually quite reassuring to know that it's not just my country that's going through these political wars all the time. So there you go. Yeah. It's not just this country, is it?
It's not. No, it's not.